I love family and I love hearing stories and going through life together with family. On my mom's side, she was blessed with two sisters and a brother, and of course, her parents, my grandparents. And I loved my grandparents growing up. They were actually the only grandparents I got to hang out with because on my dad's side, being the baby of eight, and he's having me and my brothers, we're pretty much on our own. His parents already had passed away. A lot of his older brothers and sisters were already next generations were already having kids, and so we were always kind of at the tail end there. But being a part of family, I loved being able to spend time with my grandparents, especially my grandma. I loved my grandma so much. She just had that loving hug and even just her smell. I mean, and her food. Gosh, man, that had me at every time we went over to see grandma, looking forward to what new creations she was going to create that night. But I remember going into her room, and I always used to see this little wall, little pictures that she had of myself, my brothers, and also my cousins. She had this, and they were all of us when we were little, all together hanging out. I don't remember what was happening in that moment, but she had be able to capture those pictures of us as young kids. And she had that on her wall. And I would ask her, Grandma, why do you always have these old pictures of us? Why can't you put something new? She said, well, I just like it because it reminds us we're all young, we're all together. But she said, I use this as my prayer wall. I use this to pray over you and all of your brothers and your cousins each and every day, each and every night. I'm always praying for you guys. I said, wow, Grandma, are you sure? I mean, I'm pretty good, Grandma. Why do I need it? And he said, no, I'm praying for you because he's always watching. She would even tell me in Spanish, él te ve, meaning he's watching you. Probably because I was actually a pretty naughty kid sometimes, meaning that he's watching you when I'm doing some bad stuff. But now I learned to remember he's always watching. He sees me. He always hears. And at her funeral, I had the opportunity to hear different people speak. Some of my aunts talked. And one of my aunts had mentioned, wow, I remember hearing Grandma say how hard life was, but she got her strength and her courage from God. He was always there with her. You see, her son, my uncle, he was actually paralyzed from the waist down in his early 20s. Now, he was a strong guy, very business driven. He was in the IT world at the time, which, in the 70s, man, that's pretty innovation. That's when all the innovation was happening. So he was there, but he was in a car accident, paralyzed. And then he comes down with Parkinson's disease, which ultimately took his life. My grandma was always there to take care of him. And then my grandpa, he became very sick. He passed away as well. But I remember hearing at my grandma's funeral that my aunt has said she would hear my grandma pray, Lord, just let me be able to live just long enough so I can take care of my son and I can take care of my husband. And somehow God heard and he honored that because just weeks after my grandma passed away. Now that was crazy. And I'm thinking, wow, God heard all of this and said, okay, I'm going to honor that. And I'm going to do that. And it happened. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Then I remembered all the times my grandma was praying for me. And I remembered I should be doing that too. I could have that relationship with God just like she did. In the book of Mark, chapter 6, verse 50, they were all terrified when they saw him, but Jesus spoke to them at once. Don't be afraid. He said, take courage. I am here. And then I remembered Grandma, all of her prayers. She wasn't afraid. She took courage because Jesus was always with her. And she knew that. And I want to live that too. Through my grandma's prayer life, I learned and saw how I could take courage. Just knowing that he is always with me. And I don't have to be afraid of anything. And so can you.